or other, we could call them negative thought patterns. They're habits, they're patterns. They're things we need to work with. The more we allow ourselves to go in that direction, the more we go in that direction. It's the nature of the mind. Remember I said it's a creature of habit. If you find that it goes in the direction of anger and you allow it to keep going, it'll keep going. Instead, what you want to do is you want to give it something different to do. Now, sometimes in our lives, there are actually things we need to look at. A specific pain that is causing anger that we need to look at face to face, deal with, take care of, maybe have a conversation with someone, maybe go within and forgive. So sometimes there's actually actions that need to be taken in order to free ourselves of these patterns. But a lot of times there isn't. A lot of times they've become just that, habits. We go in that direction. We're not angry at one thing, we're just kind of angry in general at everything. We're not jealous about just one thing, we're sort of in general jealous and competitive. We're not negative about one thing, we're just in general habitually negative. It becomes simply a habit. And this is where you want to just give yourself a much better habit. But it takes practice. It takes practice. This is where in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna emphasizes abhyas. Abhyas means practice. And he emphasizes abhyas so much, practice. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Yes, that is the nature of the mind. It's like a monkey. And in this case, a monkey, throwing a temper tantrum. Practice. Practice. This is the role of mantra. This is the role of prayer. This is the role of mindfulness. See, if I am mindful of my breath, fully mindful of my breath in this moment, I can't be angry. Because the mind can't do two things simultaneously. So it can't be telling me a story about why I'm angry at you and being aware of my breath at the same time. I cannot be fully mindful in the moment and judging this one, being negative about this one, jealous of this one, competing with this one. And so this is where our practices give us mindfulness. Stay mindful. And again, it's a practice, abhyas. We expect it to happen suddenly. I can't tell you how many times I've had people in satsang all over the world. Somebody will raise their hand and say, okay, so what's the bare minimum I need to do every day? Like, is there a 5-7 minute option? And I laugh because we're looking for an immediate magic wand. Everything else in life we understand, we need to practice, we need to give it time. But our spiritual practices, it's like, what do you mean I can't do it in 5 minutes? Abhyas, practice. So every time you find the mind going in anger, just bring it back. Just bring it back. Problem is we love it. Problem is, the ego loves it. Because see, the more I am negative about other people in my mind, the better I feel about myself. It's a very, very cheap and very shallow self-esteem booster. And it doesn't work for very long. But it's this very quick, cheap boost of my self-esteem if I can just think of something negative about someone else. For a brief moment, I feel better because I'm better than they are. But it's cheap, and it's shallow, and it doesn't actually work. And all it does is separate us from our true self. So as the mind goes in anger, just be like, enough of your cheap tricks. I know I'm full and whole and divine. I don't need to hold grudges about other people. I don't need to lose myself. Just bring the mind back. Back to your breath, back to a mantra, back to the present moment. And slowly, slowly, as a creature of habit, it'll stop going in that direction. It's just practice.